Welcome to another Figuring Out Japan video. We sell all the coolest Japanese collectibles and figurines straight out of Japan, and you can find out more details about us in the description of this video, including our eBay store and our Facebook page. And there's also plenty of ways that you can get in touch with us with the details in the description of the video. So I'm actually going to make a bit of a special video here. I'm not going to be reviewing any figures. I'm actually going to be showing you some figures from my own collection that I've brought in here today. And yeah, I've actually made a couple of these different videos. I'm probably going to repeat myself, but a lot of people, ask questions like, which figures do you recommend, or which figures do you like, and that sort of thing. And it's a great question, because for me, working for a figurine company, I see so many different figures. It is really hard to decide, which ones you want, because we don't all have the time and the space to just, the money and the space to collect everything we want. A lot of people would collect figures based off what they think is going to be worth a lot of money. I don't think that's a good idea for a couple of reasons. Firstly, Dragon Ball is a very popular series, and it's not going to go away. It's always going to be popular. It's like Star Wars, it's always going to be popular. I know there's the new series now, Dragon Ball Super. There was a couple of movies released over the last couple of years, but prior to that, the last content that Dragon Ball had seen was Dragon Ball GT in 1997. And so even with no content released for over 15 years, it was still popular. Figurines were still being made in Japan. People were still buying them. So, figurines are going to go up over time. There's a limited quantity released when they're first made. That's it. That's done. There's always going to be supply for those figures. So basic economics tells you that the price is going to go up over time. And it's pretty pronounced. I mean, even a figure like Gohan here was released in April this year. A little over 6 months later, he's pretty hard to get, actually, in just 6 months. So, very popular still, Dragon Ball. The second reason is, does it really matter? Like, you might buy a figure, might double in value in 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. So let's say you bought one for $50, it's now worth $100. Versus a figure that you bought for, say, $50 and is now worth, say, $75. So, okay, you made $25, but, over a space of 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, that's a pretty small benefit for not getting the figure that you actually really wanted. And probably the more important reason is you may never sell them anyway. So if you never sell them, then why does it really matter what they're worth? So for me personally, I buy figures based off what I think looks good as a display, and I'm pretty happy with how I sort of put this display together. So I might just talk about the figures that you actually see in front of you. So the back three is Perfect Cell, Android 20, and Android 16. They were all from the S Culture Series 1. So a lot of you would have seen Series 5 that came out this year, which was the Super Saiyan Goku, Bardock, Nappa, Raditz, Super Saiyan Vegeta, and Second Stage Cell. So if you saw those figures, they were Series 5. This was Series 1. So all those three are from the same. Android 18 was from Series 3 of the S Cultures line, and was actually voted by people in Japan as the best figure for Series 3. This Goku was from Series 2 of the S Cultures line, and this Gohan was from the Master Stars Piece series. There's a really cool Perfect Freezer that's going to come out in a little over a month, I think, and a few more next year, like Gotenks and Co. So, but this one has actually been repainted. It's a custom piece, but there is a commercially available figure. It looks exactly like that, except paint job's a bit different. So there you go. That's the Android Saga display. And the great thing is there's just so many different options that you can actually display it with. So if I remove a couple of figures here, I'm a bit limited with space, but you could add some of the Z fighters like Piccolo and Vegeta. These again are all from the S Cultures line. So you could add some of the Z fighters, and you could put Trunks in there. kind of needed trunks, don't you, in the Android Saga? And you could also put another figure from the S Cultures line, which was the Krillin, which I actually don't have open, but there's Krillin, pretty cool pose. So you could put Krillin in there as well, which would actually look really good with the Android 18, obviously, because the two end up marrying. And there's another couple of figures that you could put in there from the Legend of Saiyan series, Super Saiyan Future Trunks and Super Saiyan Vegeta. There was also a Super Saiyan Gohan released in his series of him in like the Piccolo style outfit. So lots of different options. Or you could even, instead of having like an Android Saga display, you could actually make a Red Ribbon Army display. And I actually don't have this figure open right now, but there's the Red Ribbon Army Chief from the WCF series. So it's a bit small, but you could put the Red Ribbon Army Chief in there and sort of turn it into a Red Ribbon Army display. And there were also some really cool figures released over 10 years ago now by Owen Toy from the Android Saga. There was Android 19, there was a Perfect Cell with Cell Jr., etc. There was also a really cool big purple battle suit figure that was released, and it actually had an Android 17 figure with it. And I actually sold that last year. Ironically, someone in Japan bought it, so I had to... it was never released in Japan, so I had to send it from my home country into Japan, even though I live here. So that would actually look really cool with this display. A bit of a shame I sold it, actually. Kind of regret it, but anyway. It was very big, so I was just sort of trying to clear space. But yeah, I mean, as I said, like plenty of opportunities and display things that you could sort of mix and match. You could certainly make this a lot bigger. But anyway, I thought I would just sort of share that with you. And it's a pretty cool, series. It's, I mean, Cell is really one of the three main bad guys, along with Boo and Frieza. And, I mean, what more could you want in the Cell Saga? It's got everything. I mean, it's got suspense, it's got surprise, it's got some cool bad guys. I think one thing that's really missing, though, obviously, in this display, you really do need an Android 17, and yeah, there has been one released in the Figure Arts series, but Figure Arts are very expensive, and you can see the joints very clearly because they have a lot of articulation, but so that's why I don't really personally like to collect those. But yeah, I mean, if you had the Android 17, it looked pretty cool. But yeah, and obviously, I mean, even you could just have Cell and Gohan together. That would look great. Or you could just have like the three androids together, or whatever. So there's lots of different display opportunities. But I'll put the links in the description of this video for all the other figures that you saw, the reviews I've done of those figures. So I hope you like that display. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. If you have your own display that you like, whether it's an Android Saga or not, feel free, more than free to. That made no sense, I know. Feel free to post pictures of your collection on the Facebook page. Love to see them. It's a great community, people sort of looking at figures and stuff. But all these figures are available from our store. If you have any questions, you can get in touch with us in the details. So thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video.